This, Andre said. Perseus, I have a favor to ask. May I see her? I would like to speak with her alone and express my apologies to her. Of course not. This guy is almost insane. If the two of them actually meet, Ivisa will definitely not give him a good look and might even say some hurtful things. Then the crown prince will truly turn into a madman. In the end, wasn't it him, the poor guy, who took the blame? How can I politely decline? The mild, non-irritating kind. Shameless scoundrel. You think you're worthy to see her? With a roar, Jerome burst out of the bushes with a ferocious expression and charged straight at Andre. In the blink of an eye, the two top noble young men were wrestling, each move aimed at vital points without holding back. Perseus, watching from the sidelines, was dumbfounded. However, this is for the best. With Jerome blocking his way, Andre couldn't force him. Isn't this how tools are used? Unfortunately, there was no popcorn. Chapter 49 Complex Relationships. Jerome, you rude infero. You. Why are you in the bushes? Andre was both surprised and furious. He turned his head to avoid Jerome's straight punch and retaliated with a punch of his own. Never mind that. Prepare to die. Jerome's attack was even more ruthless. After several more rounds of dismantling, a bewildered Andre finally came to his senses and was furious. You're still eyeing her. I warned you long ago. She's my woman. No one else is allowed to covet her. Your woman? Huh? What have you done for her to dare to speak so arrogantly? You cowardly wimp. If I had known it would turn out like this, I shouldn't have been lenient with you. What have you done for her? How dare you accuse me like this? I do anything for her. So did you do it or not? Enough nonsense. Just prepare to die. These two young noblemen have both received the most advanced combat training in their respective countries. Their fighting style is so skillful and impressive that it's even more exciting than a martial arts movie. As for the harsh words they exchanged, it's hard to say. At this time, a heavy rain is often needed. To avoid accidentally hurting anyone, Perseus stepped aside, hesitating whether or not to go in and break up the fight. Given the aggressive fighting style of these two, if he gets close enough to physically attack them, he'll inevitably take a few punches and kicks. Wouldn't that be a huge loss for him? But if we ignore it and things get out of hand, no matter who dies or gets hurt, given their status, he, as a witness, will be in deep trouble. Thinking of this, Perseus abandoned the show and turned to run back. As Perseus ran back to the classroom, his eyes were immediately drawn to a pair of long, fair legs. Oh, it's Lovia. They said such rude things before, but now they're doing it again. However, as soon as she arrived, the place was a garden full of spring colors, a sight to behold. No wonder there were so many infatuated girls and boys surrounding the classroom. Darling, you've come at the perfect time. My cousin is here. Why don't you say hello? Helen greeted her with a smile. Miss Lovia, Perseus said with a smile and a bow. Snort. Lovia glanced at him casually, then looked away with a cold expression. Darling, why are you running so fast? Did something happen? Helen gently wiped his sweat. Oh, I was so focused on looking at legs that I almost missed the important thing. Baby, come with me quickly. Perseus beckoned to Ivisa and called out urgently. The entire room fell silent instantly. Darling, what do you call her? Helen squinted. Ivisa, come with me, Perseus said without changing his expression. Ivisa stood up and walked over under everyone's gaze. What exactly happened? Mellifera asked. Is there something exciting to see? I want to go too. Luna leaped up and skillfully climbed onto Perseus. Hee, it's nothing serious. I just wanted to take her out for a few private words. Perseus smiled. Since it's a private conversation, there's nothing we can do. N.A.N hugged Perseus's arm tightly. Cousin, why don't you come with us? She warmly invited Lovia. Not interested. I'm going back to my classroom, Lovia said indifferently. But maybe something really interesting will happen. Helen blinked her big eyes. Lovia was silent for a moment, then nodded. Then I'll go too. Mellifera walked up to Perseus. I already said we were going to whisper. What do these women think of other people's privacy? Perseus was helpless. If they really wanted to come along, there was nothing he could do. There was no time to patiently dissuade him. Perseus grabbed Ivisa's hand and ran. And so, 1 man and 5 women ran ahead, followed by a large group of people at a distance. Perseus glanced back and saw that more and more people were joining the crowd, forming a huge, dark mass. Bloodthirsty audience, huh? However, he didn't mind. Rather, the more people watching, the better. It's just a pity that some teachers, completely unaware of this, arrived at the classroom during class time to find that there wasn't a single student there. Back at the original spot, the two were still fighting, both with injuries of varying degrees, and their clothes were torn, looking both fierce and disheveled. Jerome, upon discovering her younger brother fighting with someone and getting injured, Mary Farah gasped in shock, covering her mouth. "I'm sorry, Your Highness. I should have made that clear to you beforehand," Perseus said. "Jerome, stop hitting him." Mary Farah didn't care about him anymore and shouted loudly in that direction. But her voice was so soft and delicate that it wasn't even as loud as the sound of the two men's punches and kicks hitting the air. Moreover, the two were completely absorbed in the battle, their attention focused entirely on each other, and they had no idea that so many people had arrived. Yes, almost the entire student body of the college came. Some of the students came to watch the play, while others ran along with so many people. No one expected to witness such a spectacular show. Crown Prince Andre and Prince Jerome, the two most prestigious and sought-after men in the Imperial Magic Academy, were actually fighting passionately like this. For some reason, some girls and boys blushed slightly when they saw this scene. "You call me here just for this?" Ivisa stared at Perseus expressionlessly. "Only you can stop them now. If they keep fighting, people will die," Perseus said. Ivia remained silent, seemingly unwilling to address the matter. "Miss Ivisa, please stop them." Mellifera pleaded desperately. "Why stop it? Fighting is so much fun," Luna whispered in Perseus's ear. Helen looked over there with great interest. Lovia kept her eyes fixed on Andre, her brows furrowing deeper and deeper. "Stop!" Ivisa finally spoke. She didn't shout or yell. She just spoke softly in a normal volume. Yet her clear and pleasant voice resonated throughout the entire venue. Wind magic also has the effect of a sound amplifier. If she wanted, she could even deafen everyone present instantly. Andre reacted immediately, even more effectively than hearing his father's imperial decree. He stopped immediately, not even attempting to retaliate when Jerome punched him hard in the face. She said to stop, so he stopped. Jerome realized what was happening and looked at Ivisa with Andre. Both of them looked dazed and confused, with blood trickling from the corners of their mouths. They were instinctively excited, but then realized their current disheveled state and immediately lowered their heads in shame. For a man, being so unsightly in front of the woman he loves is tantamount to torture. Ivisa wasn't as dramatic as them. She simply listened to Perseus and stopped the fight, then, not wanting to linger, turned and left expressionlessly. Perseus pushed Helen's arm aside, placed Luna, who was clinging to him like a little monkey, onto her, and, ignoring the two women's astonished expressions, quickly chased after them. Andre and Jerome dared not chase after her, and could only watch her leave resolutely with heavy hearts. Lovia was still looking at Andre, biting her lip, when suddenly a thin line of bright red blood appeared. Chapter 50, Leaving Home and Returning Home. Mellifera gently wiped the wounds on Jerome's face with a cotton ball soaked in medicine. Despite her incredibly gentle movements and Jerome's best efforts to endure it, the irritation from the medicine still made his eyelids slightly droop and his lips tremble a little. After Jerome finished treating her, Mirafara replaced the cotton ball and brought the medicine to Andre's side. "Your Highness the Crown Prince?" "No need. I could do it myself." Andre stubbornly refused Mellifera's help and applied the medicine to his face himself, covering the rest of his face except for the wound. Mellifera sighed softly and handed her small mirror to Andre. "Thank you." Andre gave a very aloof thank you, but was momentarily stunned by Mellifera's warm, wintry smile. "Oomph." Jerome snorted coldly upon seeing this. Mary Farah glared at him, and Jerome immediately lowered his head, not daring to utter another word. Mellifera was truly helpless. This was the second time she had to treat the wounds of both of them at the same time. The first time was 10 years ago, also because of jealousy and rivalry over Ivisa. Back then, they were just children, so it was somewhat understandable. I never imagined they'd still be like this even after growing up. When Ivisa stopped the fight and left, it meant that this unique drama had come to an end. Under Lovia's firm command, all the students who had watched the play reluctantly returned to their classes. Jerome was detained by an angry Mellifera, and Andre, who wanted to leave, was also dragged over by her without explanation. So the two sworn enemies who were fighting to the death just moments ago are now sitting at opposite ends of the same sofa. Although the two fought fiercely, they were both physically resilient and only suffered minor injuries after a long fight. This way, There's no need to bother the light magic teacher in charge of medical care, as that would only alert someone with more problems. Sitting between the two, responsible for suppressing them, Miri Farah looked left and right, her delicate brows furrowed. You two who started it. Jerome, was it you? She wasn't biased towards outsiders. She just knew these two people's character better. In her view, her younger brother Jerome was impulsive, while Andre was relatively more mature and stable. I started it, Andre said calmly. Jerome frowned. What kind of hero are you trying to be? One should take responsibility for one's actions. I struck first. You're still a hero. Mellifera slapped him on the shoulder, lightly enough to not even kill a mosquito. Sister. Jerome looked at her cautiously. He knew his sister was really angry this time, and he felt guilty for being too impulsive. He was already so old, and his sister still had to worry about him. How many times have I told you to be kind to others? Mellifera said sternly. Remember your current status. You are the crown prince. Every word and action represents the dignity of the kingdom. So many people saw you fighting with people today, and they were all nobles. What are they going to think of you? What are they going to think of the kingdom of Infero? I know this is wrong, but I don't think I did anything wrong. It's all this guy's fault. Shut up. Don't mention that again. No matter what, you were wrong to strike first. Apologize to His Highness the Crown Prince right now. At this moment, Miri Farah was no longer the gentle woman she once was. She resembled a furious lioness. Faced with his sister like this, Jerome felt both guilty and afraid, but he still stiffly turned his face away. No. Asking him to apologize to Andre and admit his mistakes would be worse than killing him. Jerome? Mellifera was furious. Your Highness, never mind, Andre said softly. I don't need his apology. Is this a question of whether you need to apologize or not? You don't deserve my apology at all. You not only deserve to be beaten, you deserve to die. Look at your weak and incompetent appearance. It's disgusting. Jerome's anger flared up again. Even if I really did something wrong, it's none of your business to lecture me. Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are to her? How many words have you even spoken to her? Are you still not satisfied? You want to fight again? Come on then. Who's afraid of you? Seeing that the two were about to start fighting again, Miri Farah slammed the medicine bottle down in the middle of the living room. The sound of shattering glass silenced the two of them instantly. Mellifera's face was terribly gloomy. Elder sister? Andre remained silent. Although he and Jerome had been at odds since childhood, he always held Mellifera in both respect and fear. Before, there was more respect. Now there's more fear. Jerome, pack your things, we're going back home today. Mellifera said expressionlessly. Huh? I'm not going back. Jerome said quickly. Then what are you planning to do here? Mellifera trembled with rage. Your mother sent you to study in the Empire not only to teach you real skills, but more importantly, to help you build good relationships with the Empire's nobles. Look at what you've done, fighting with the Crown Prince. Do you want to reignite the war between our two countries? I was wrong. Jerome lowered his head deeply. Wrong. You think you can cover up the seriousness of this matter with just one word like wrong? Have you forgotten how much suffering the kingdom's people have endured from years of war? How many elderly people have lost their children? How many women have lost their husbands? How many children have lost their fathers? Think of them. Do you deserve to be their king? In the end, Miri Farah's eyes widened in anger, and tears streamed down her face. Jerome silently left his seat and knelt before Mellifera. For a woman, just for a woman, and a woman who has already been enslaved. Miri Farah slapped Jerome hard across the face this time. Your Highness, aren't you ashamed of yourself? Sister, you can't say that about her. It's not her fault that she became a slave. She didn't want to be a slave. Jerome was angry too, and she cried. So what? This is reality. Can you change reality? I can, Jerome said stubbornly. If she comes back to the kingdom with me, everything can change. Why would she go back to the kingdom with you? She's Perseus's slave. He's his private property, do you understand? Aren't you and Perseus friends? Do you want to snatch her away from him? Jerome fell silent. He truly couldn't do such a thing. Give up, Jerome. Mellifera covered her tear-filled eyes. Don't do anything worthless for her anymore. Otherwise, you will not only hurt yourself, hurt my mother and me, hurt the entire kingdom, but you will also not get her. I didn't do these things to get her, Jerome shouted. It's because I love her. I'm willing to do anything as long as she's happy.